Part lioness, part human. Of all the feline goddesses who claimed to be patrons of war, Sekhmet was objectively the most fearsome. During the Golden Age, there was only perfection. Awestruck by these wonders, tears clotted the insides of Ra's eyes, droplets fell towards the earth, and the drops that met the planet spawned humans. When humanity rebelled against the solar deity, he sent down Hathor, his divine eye, to punish his children. The intoxicating goddess shapeshifted into the horrifying lioness, Sekhmet. Sekhmet viciously slaughtered mankind and drank their blood. At the height of her fury, she had no female equal. Isis, goddess of spells and magic, Hathor, another solar deity, and Mut, the wife of Anum, all used the power of Sekhmet at some point. Which goes to show how powerful Sekhmet must have been considering the statuses of each goddess. Hastily, Ra drew out 7,000 jugs of beer mixed with pomegranate juice that transformed the Nile's waters into a red sea. To Sekhmet, this was just more human blood, and she happily leapt into the Nile and started to drink from its waters. Soon enough, however, she became so drunk that she simply lost consciousness. For 3 days, there was no more bloodshed, no more pain or agony. 3 days later, Hathor awoke, docile and non-threatening to the humans that lived on the earth. The curious thing about this is that Ra saw it best to trick Sekhmet into stopping her campaign of destruction upon the humans, rather than appearing before Sekhmet and quelling her rage personally or sending another god on his behalf to do so. Perhaps Ra feared a conflict between himself and Sekhmet, knowing that she would be irrational and unwilling to cooperate with him due to her blood rage. So you have to wonder, if Ra didn't want to outright just confront Sekhmet, she must have been a massive deal as far as her power is concerned among the Egyptian gods, considering Ra's power. Of course, that's just my speculation. This is one of the many examples of how Sekhmet resembles the darker aspects of the sun. Thanks to this, she is also known as Nezert, meaning flame, terrifying goddess, and thanks to the fact that she was a protector of Upper Egypt and the eastern regions of Egypt, she earned the title Red Lady. This was the first time that death entered the world, and thanks to all of the death and carnage that she caused, she also earned the title She Who Dances on Blood. Interestingly though, as these were Ra's children, she murdered her own kin, showing nothing but her fierce loyalty toward the sun deity. There are some nice parallels between Sekhmet and Kali. Both were created by the gods to deal with a rebellious faction or race. Both outclassed a good number of their fellow gods and goddesses with their sheer ferocity alone. Both drank the blood of their enemies. Also, like Kali though, there was a balancing factor with Sekhmet. She wasn't completely just this evil, destructive force that was called upon for dirty dealings. She was also a goddess of medicine, which pops up again, but there you go, and healing. Now, as for her relationships with Bastet or Bast, because of the fact that she was the goddess of Upper Egypt, and Upper Egypt eventually did dominate Lower Egypt, Sekhmet was considered to be the greater of the two warrior deities. Sekhmet went on to receive titles such as Scarlet Lady, referring to her bloodlust, whilst Bast became Bastet, associating her with more house pet style cats. Nevertheless, like most Egyptian deities, there was a balance. Continuing with this balance, as mankind was saved, Sekhmet's might was celebrated yearly. The people drank the same pomegranate-stained beer whilst worshipping the destroyer of the rebellion and the gracious one. They also celebrated every year to pacify Sekhmet, and these celebrations would also take place after conflicts or wars, just to stay on the safe side. She was a protective mother of kings or pharaohs, as well as Mayat, being the goddess of justice and balance, among many other things. As such, she also received the title of the one who loves Mayat and who detests evil, of course in the Egyptian language. In battles, it was said that she was the defender and protector of pharaohs. During these times, hot desert winds were her breath. King Ramses II boasted that Sekhmet the Great rode with him to vanquish their enemies. She was the most feared goddess of archery, and her arrows themselves were named 7 messengers inflicting plague, famine, chaos, and destruction. But whilst she does have a lot of edgy titles, the fact that she was known to cure ailments with medicine did unlock her the title of the Lady of Life. She was also the wife of this god and the mother to Nefertum, he who is beautiful. Specifically, Sekhmet was a deity created through a process of syncretism, the joining of religious beliefs to create new systems. Historians believe that Sekhmet replaced Tefnut, who was the prior lioness-headed deity of Heliopolis, taking as her husband. With her husband, Sekhmet went on to be a very prominent figure in Memphis. Thoth was known as he who is beautiful of face and had skin of celestial blue. Like Sekhmet, Thoth bestowed 3 qualities onto Egyptian rulers. Thoth was also a divine craftsman who used only his heart and tongue to create the world. He was also credited with creating the other gods and the universe. The heart and tongue were the core of intellect and the soul in Egyptian mythology, which boasts the significance of Thoth and, by extension, his wife Sekhmet, as she was deemed worthy enough to be his consort. Sekhmet and Thoth also balanced each other out, as Thoth was a god of healing, and this aspect of him helped to keep his more aggressive wife in check. There are quite a lot of gods of healing in Egyptian mythology, aren't there? And well, that's the video, guys. I hope that you did enjoy that. If you did, go ahead and leave a like. If you're new to the channel and want to see more content just like this, you need to click that subscribe button. And where do you think Sekhmet stands as far as power is concerned? Do you think she leans somewhere closer to the top of the pack as far as Egyptian gods and goddesses are concerned, or is she maybe much lower? But until the next video, thank you very much for watching. I have been Prime, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.